Welcome to Swell Radio, RFUA, radio for unsigned artists. For a journey celebrating rock and roll music, both past, present, and future. This is Swell Radio, RFUA, on The Answer San Diego.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the final Saturday of 2022. It's the 30th. It's Saturday evening. Tonight, we have the amazing punk rock headbanging superstars from San Diego, the Skullbusters, the Aussie Music Minute, the Sled Track of the Week. Before we get to all that, though, my name's Peter DeLuke.
I'm Dino DeLuke.
And that means I must be Swell Ozzy.
Kerry Ruffin on assignment. Cole Lewis is in Africa. We got a rockin' good night ahead of you. It's going to be a good time. Get the JMO out. Get a little 1800, man. Get that cake tap. Put the TV on mute. Turn the AC up. And let's get this party started. AM 1170, FM 96.1. On The Answer. KCBQ San Diego. Swell Radio. RFUA. We'll be right back.
We missed you. We're back. Swell Radio RFUA.
Swell Radio, RFUA. You know, I feel like I'm back at CBGB's. We're hanging with the punk monsters of San Diego. The real deal, the Skullbuster Band. Ready to rock this place tonight. And we're going to rock to the first track, Rat Race, featuring the immortal Reverend Horton Heat playing some lead guitar on this.
That's true.
Take it away, Todd. Let's rock.
1, 2, 3, go!
In a race for fast, on the way by glass, I'm gonna have a heart attack. High blood pressure like glass, with so many rats on the track, so very many low cheeks, so far away. That's it, I want to never see you again.
Straight from San Diego's KCBQ, the Skullbusters. How about a warm welcome?
Yeah, welcome, boys.
Thank you.
So we got in the studio, we got Brian Thorick, Junior Solis, Paul Lima, Travis Rupert on the phone, and Kevin Hewitt, who we call Kevin Baby, is unfortunately working his day gig, but it won't be for long because you know why? When you hear songs like that, man, especially that guitar solo, and even more importantly, the tone of that guitar solo. Brian, talk about it.
Oh, that was the Reverend Horton Heat. I knew him from Texas, and he's my favorite guitarist.
But, you know, when you think about any kind of music, man, and what's protocol and what fits in, especially in the soul section of a song, you get a cat like that who rips it up, but it's like you guys are a distinctive sound. You're that punk scene from that New York City punk scene type thing. And, you know, kind of like what we do on the heavy metal hard rock side, you guys are doing it on that side, keeping beautiful music alive, man, and preserving it. And let's talk about the Skullbusters because, you know, you were the mastermind, right, Brian? You could have put it all together, or?
Yeah, I started the band, but we started way back in 1981, and I kind of like Paul to run through our history a little bit.
Yeah,
if
Paul
you'd
can
like
do it.
to.
Paul, take us through. Let's do the chronology of the Skullbusters,
cool.
man.
Yeah, Brian was our mastermind. He was 16 years old, 16 or 17. It's pretty funny. I was the youngest guy in the band, and I was about 10 or 11 years old. I was kind of the youngest punk kid going around to the scene, to the shows and everything. And Brian and Travis had a great idea to start a band, and they asked me to come along, and it was pretty great. We played with a lot of pretty monumental bands, and we were pretty lucky to be part of that early punk rock scene that. There wasn't a lot of people back there in the punk rock scene, and it was a pretty special time.
Cool.
I mean, I lived through that, and Swell Ozzy, we're going to turn it over to him right now, but he'll attest to this too. So growing up in New York, near New York City, like Dino and myself and Swell Ozzy, we had a close eye and easy access to the punk rock scene. Oz, take it away a little bit.
We did indeed. We had CBGB's in New York, which is sort of the heart and soul of the punk scene. Guys, love that song. Also love Horton Heat as well. What other punk bands have you guys played in, if any, in the San Diego area that our listeners might be familiar with?
We played with a lot of pretty bitchin' bands. We played with the Misfits and Necros from your part of the world. We played with DOA, Bad Brains, Flesh Eaters, 45 Grave, Battalion of Saints here locally, Minor Threat. We played with a lot of pretty awesome bands back then, and we're pretty
cool
proud
names
to do it. Yeah, for sure.
You just played a show last Saturday night over at the Tower Bar. How'd it go?
Oh, man.
Junior, yeah.
Great.
Talk about I saw some video clips, man. We were unfortunately out of play, but it looked like that place was jamming, man.
Yeah, they had a pit going. It was pretty awesome. We kicked butt. It was nice. It was.
You told me about a show too you guys did not too long ago where it was a Monday night and you were kind of doing an incognito show. I guess one of those shows where you're trying to tighten your show up, so to speak. And you figured you sort of sneak into Navajo Live, right? And there'd only be, 12 or 13 people there. But I guess it didn't quite go that way, right?
We were only expecting 5 people that'd be there when we first started.
Yeah, we kind of used it as a practice, and word got out a little bit. So there's a few more people than we expected, but it was a good event. The Tower Bar the other night was really good. It was a lot of energy. It was a lot of people seemed to really like the show, and we were pretty pumped to be there.
How many people were there at Navajo Live?
Oh, gosh. What do you guys
I don't know. I think there was a line out the door for a while where a lot of people couldn't get in. So I think it was
unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, those scratch scrub rehearsals that you're doing, you better keep them in your studio from now on. Speaking of which, people don't know this. These guys are our roommates in where we rehearse or at Eric's.
We rehearse right across the hall in our old studio.
Yeah, they're in our old studio. So.
Yeah, man.
We're going to get to another track here, and there's some really cool stuff going on. We're going to talk about each track as we do because there's a lot of special guests and people making appearances. But this next track is Vampire. Hit it, Todd.
This is the one with the... Vampire by the Skullbusters. So, me being a YouTube cat, I was on there one night. I saw this badass video of Vampire. Let's talk a little bit about this whole concept, what's been going on with the record and everything else. Brian, go ahead.
Okay, so the Skullbusters, we were around in 81, 82, and then we got back together in 2020. So on the album, 7 of the songs were written... Well, actually, 6 of them were written back like in 81, 82. A song called Typhoid Mary, we started it then, but never finished it. Then we got back in 2020. We did a copy of The Passenger by Iggy Pop. And then we wrote 2 new songs, Vampires Are Real, and we wrote Death and Halloween, you'll hear in a minute. And we finished the song Typhoid Mary, so that makes 10. So it's a couple new songs, old. So Vampires Are Real is our title track. And there's a little buried meaning inside of it. You can listen to it and try to figure out what it really means. But we like vampires. I like staying up till like 1 in the morning. I'm kind of a vampire.
Great video too, man.
Yeah,
gotta check that
out. I think we speak on behalf of most of us as musicians. I'm usually coming in the hallways of my house at 2 in the morning, 1:30. I'm usually got something going. I mean, whatever it may be. That's sort of in our blood. That's why so many of us have sleep apnea and sleep problems and other health related issues. We're not the 9 to 5 kind of guys, but tell us a little bit more. Dino caught the video, but I'm seeing a concept here, which is kind of cool because you're talking about, vampires, Halloween. So you guys, this is kind of like a Queensryche album, where you're doing a whole concept on, evil spirits, vampires.
So we were kind of what you call a horror punk band.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of like, we got a lot of traditional kind of just fast California punk like Rat Race that you heard, right? So we're over here all the way from really dark stuff, kind of coming from the Misfits and the Cramps and 45 Graven all the way over to like faster stuff, Black Flag, Minor Threat type stuff. So on the album, there's 2 sides of the album. We call one side the dark side, and we call one side the fast side.
Nice.
So on the dark side's kind of all the darky stuff, the horror punk, if you will. And then on the fast side is all kind of the fast, kind of like the Adolescents or something, real fast punk. And so some people, it's funny, they're already going, well, I like the dark side better. Well, I like the fast side better. And that was kind of the concept.
The cool thing is, though, is you're resurrecting something that's kind of fallen away from rock and roll. And that's either side A and side B or side 1 and side 2. Well, we all grew up with record albums. You know, let's check out the B-side hits. I like the B-side better because it's got cooler. You know, when I listen to like Toys on the Attic by Aerosmith, I was always like, I like Adam's Apple. I like the B-side hits of Aerosmith because I'm a true fan. You guys, that's cool. You guys are resurrecting that. So talk more about that, too. Whose idea was it to do like that?
That was Brian's idea.
I like it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys critique the hell out of me. So I'll come up with something.
I know what that feels like.
Like Paul takes the words, you know. Like I kind of start writing the words sometimes, and then Paul takes them and he tweaks them really hard and makes them better, and he checks them to make sure they're correct.
and so let me ask, Travis is also an original member too.
Yeah.
He's with us.
Travis,
tonight.
what's up, man?
Is here.
Yeah. Hey, how you guys all doing, man? It all started with horror movies for me, man. I'm a horror movie fanatic. And when I was in high school, I was learning all this stuff in my history class about Black Death and the plague and all this stuff. So it was right up my wheelhouse. So as soon as we get to practice, I'd say, hey, I got this grim story. Let's make songs about this gross horror movie stuff. And that's where it all comes from, just being horror movie fanatic.
So, Paul, he gives you the idea and the concept, and you write the lyrics?
No, we both write them. Brian kind of comes up with the songs for the most part. I put my own changes on them and stuff that I want put in and changes that I want, and we kind of collaborate a little bit.
And let's talk about the guy who's not pictured right now, because I always stick up for the keyboard players, and a lot of you guys around town and musicians know Kevin, baby. Kevin Hewitt, he's a big fixture over at Guitar Center. He's been there for many years. He gives everybody the bro deal whenever he can. But Kevin's a phenomenal keyboard player and a great musician. Talk about Kev.
Yeah, Kevin's added a ton to our music, to our songs. It's crazy how much the organ brings into the band, and even though we're a punk rock / horror band, I mean, the organs, for me, the organ's been amazing, and Kevin's a pretty amazing guy as well.
He is. He's got the image to go along with it. But then what I'm trying to figure out is, where do you get this heavy metal hard rock drummer like Junior Solis from? Who, you know, most people be like, oh, Junior's he's like a rock drummer, dude. Well, is he? I don't know.
So
listen to the album, man. He's more than just a rock drummer if you listen to what he's doing on there. I mean, it's great stuff.
Well, we had the three original members, and Travis, you know, we kind of wrote. Travis would bring a lot of the concepts. Then but when we added it, when we got back together, I'm like, hey, we got to get Kevin Baby in the band. He played at my wedding. He played in Unsteady. He plays a real vintage organ, you know, with a Leslie and everything.
He does.
It's the real thing.
It is
the real deal.
It's so scary.
I love it.
Like, we started the show last week, and people were just staring at us like, what the hell's going on here? And he just adds that super gothy kind of thickness. And then Junior, the reason Junior's in the band is because he's such an amazing drummer. He's so incredible, and I love all his playing. I really like his feet. And if you listen to these songs, he puts like some like double bass flams, and he plays good fast, and he plays really good slow. He plays really heavy, and some drummers can only go fast or slow. He can do it all, and he's added like a whole nother level to me. So with Kevin, Junior added in, it just took it took the old songs to a whole nother level.
So after you put the Skullbusters on kind of hiatus in 81 or 82, you formed Victim. Junior, you, Brian. Mike Feller, who's our guitar player in Sled, was in that project as well. So, I mean, it's a cool correlation. Talk about it, Junior.
So, yeah, I mean, we started Victim out, and then we did, 3 albums?
Yeah.
We did 3 albums, and it did quite well. And then we dismembered, and then, God, I hadn't seen Brian in like almost 30 years, and we decided to take on this new project. And he asked me, hey, man, can you still play fast?
We got to take a short pause for the cause of AM 1170, FM 96.1 on The Answer, KCBQ San Diego, Swell Radio, RFUA. We'll be right back.
Well, at least paying our bills is out of the way. Let's rock. Swell Radio RFUA.
Let's rock to the track, Stroll Through the Morgue, Skullbusters, on KCBQ's Swell Radio. Take it away, Todd.
Skullbusters, everybody. Stroll the morgue. What's it about?
Travis, why don't you let us know what's cooking with this?
That song, I tell you what, that is the Skullbusters to me, and I think I wrote that riff like in high school watching old Hammer horror movies, which I just love. And to me, that's the band, man. I want fog, I want scary, I want skull faces, and that to me is just that makes up the band right there.
You know what I
Scary,
loved as a kid, and I know Travis is gonna come out of his shoes. Creature feature on Saturday nights. Was that like not one of the best of the old-time horror shows, man?
Yeah,
Creature feature rule. I remember the one show where the doctor dips. They have a pool in the backyard, and they dip the people. It's filled with battery acid, and then they pull the skulls back up. It's great, man. One of my favorite episodes.
So funny.
Oh, my God.
I never missed it.
How could
grew
you?
up watching midnight movies. We'd go see Dawn of the Dead at Parkway Theater at midnight. I mean, it's just and playing in this band, and I'm still living it. I'm just absolutely loving it.
Go ahead, Bri. Take it away, man.
Hey, Trav, tell him a little bit about Jack and what Jack means to our band.
Jack,
and that song, what he did on this song.
Yeah, one of the good things is being able to call in some old friends. I mean, we used to play with TSOL and Adolescents and all these guys, and it was so nice to have Jack Grisham come down, and he's the mortician in that song. So he actually sang on a few of the songs. Casey Royer from Adolescents came down and sang on some of the songs. So it's nice to call in old friends from back in the day. And it seems like everyone's really excited right now. It's kind of like this resurgence of punk and horror punk and stuff. And people seem to be really excited about it right now.
Well, I'll tell you the one cool thing about you guys, man, and as far as this music scene goes here in San Diego, you guys have the ability to bring it all back right now because you guys really, I mean, this isn't just some regular old punk band. This is being done with style and structure, man. I mean, people think of like a lot of times about a punk rock band. All these guys have no musicianship, but that's completely ridiculous to ever think like that. You guys are prominent musicians. You're all well established, and the songwriting and the structure and the melody, everything's there. So, I mean, for me, I know they have a big show coming up on the 17th of December at the Belly Up, opening for Fear. It's a Saturday night. Brian, I mean, you guys, I know there'll be some other shows in between, but I know you guys are got to be looking at that date on the calendar. That's going to be insane.
Yeah, Fear's like a legendary band to us because they were on Decline of the Western Civilization Part 1, which was like the best, the most iconic punk, movie ever. And then they were also, if you remember, they were buddies with John Belushi, and John Belushi asked Saturday Night Live if Fear could play on there, and they said absolutely not because they're gonna bring all their friends and trash the stage. and John Belushi said no they're not, they're gonna be good. And the second they hit the stage, they trashed the whole stage.
And Belushi knew they were going to do it.
Watch that on YouTube, and it's awesome. So
all right, we're going to get to another cool track. We talked a little earlier about it. This is an Iggy Pop song, kind of redone, right, Paul? I mean, Passenger?
Yeah, everybody loves The Passenger. It's a great song, but it's a little slow to play, and so we thought we kind of turned it into a little bit more of a hard punk rock song, and we think it turned out pretty good.
Skullbusters, KCBQ, Swell Radio RFUA, Little Passenger a la Iggy Pop. Take it away, Todd. Skullbusters, Death and Halloween. Before that, Passenger.
And you know what? That's what I call real punk rock, gentlemen. Very
Absolutely.
well done. Very well done. Love the guitar, love the keys. Drumming's fantastic. Great vocals.
All right, so we
Great
got the
bass.
Swell Aussie Music Minute Sled Track of the Week coming up. AM 1170, FM 96.1 on The Answer. KCBQ San Diego, Swell Radio, RFUA. We'll be right back. Back with the guys from the Skullbusters, and I just want to say, man, thank you for, first of all, being here. Great stuff.
Thank you.
A big show coming up on Saturday, December 17th with Fear. I don't know if tickets are on sale yet. You guys got websites. Give them some info and some videos out. Give them the website and let them know where they can see the videos and pick up the disc.
Yeah, our Insta is Skullbuster 1981. So go check us out. And we've got a Facebook page too, but we got hacked. And so we're locked out of it. So you can go there and get information. And there's some stuff on there, but a lot more people are using Insta, so that's kind of where
Instagram.
That's where
like
throwing
Instagram too.
everything.
Instagram's
Yeah,
cool.
we've got a couple of videos on YouTube as well for Vampires Are Real and The Passenger. And there's some other couple of ones that are just on there with the music. But the two videos we made are pretty cool.
Can people get tickets for you guys for that Belly Up show, or should they just go to the box office, or how the hell's it working? Do you know?
I think they just go to the box
Okay,
office
cool.
and get them. Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Well, you know what? I just want to say thanks for doing the show, guys. I mean, great
Thanks for
stuff.
having us.
Got to debut a lot of things. Thanks to Travis and thanks to Kevin who couldn't be here. Good, Dino.
Well, the announcement was made last week about Sled signing the record deal with Rock Avenue Records. And yes, that is a done deal. The first record we're going to release will be Get Rich Quick Scheme. I just wanted to mention that. So that will be available. I want to thank Marianne Hartman and Lou Espinoza for making that happen and taking care of Sled. Go ahead, Pete.
Next Sunday at Winston's, we'll be on. We're doing the George Piper Fest. That's the 7th of August. We're on around 2:30 p.m. The 20th will be at Biggs Harley Davidson doing another big show for the HAs. And,
that'll be for the Hells Angels of Dago, and it'll be a blowout. Starts at 11:30 that day, goes till 3. So you don't want to miss that show, Party Animals.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. AM 1170, FM 96.1 on The Answer. KCBQ Swell Radio. Swell Radio, RFUA. Good night, America. Sayonara, San Diego!